All right, class. First off, as always, good day. I'm glad you're here. So, this lesson is focused on one person, the Renaissance man himself, Leonardo da Vinci. We're going to be looking at how his life was growing up, what happened when he was in his 20s and 30s, and ultimately what happened when he died. Okay? So, we're going to be learning about what he did, and some things were innovative, some things were interesting, and some things you know, you probably didn't know about. So we're going to analyze, excuse me, how Da Vinci became a famous artist, or examine what happened to the artwork created by Da Vinci. You know, and then we're going to create an argument on whether Da Vinci's Mona Lisa is it complete. Right now, speaking of the Mona Lisa, there she is, and she is your warm-up picture. So what I want you to do is basically look at this picture, analyze it, particularly around the face area, and tell me, in your opinion, is she smiling? What do you think? So again, don't just, oh yeah, she is. Take some time to really look at the picture. I mean, turn and look at it, and what do you think? Is she really smiling? Yes or no? Okay, and tell me why you think that. Okay, so go ahead, pause the video, write your response because we're moving on in three, two, one. Oh, and I forgot one thing. If you try to look online, some students try to do in class, you're gonna find out some people think she is, some people say she isn't. And just like the student said in class, like, "Ugh, I can't get an answer on the internet." It's like, yeah, because some people think she is, some people think she isn't. So what do you think? Okay? So don't look online. There's no use. It's what matters is what you think, how you see it. Okay? So let's go ahead and move on. So, Leonardo da Vinci was born 1452 and died 1519. Now, his mother and father had him out of wedlock. What does that mean is that they weren't married. Okay? And he is the only son or the only child that they had together, because once they had him, they each went their own way. The father got remarried, the mother got remarried, and Da Vinci did have a lot of half brothers, half sisters, but never any like same blood exact brother or sister. It was just him. Okay. The other interesting thing about Da Vinci is, as smart as he was, as creative as he received no formal education, meaning he did not go to school. His father basically taught him how to read, you know, teach him the basics, noun, verbs, adjective, things like that. Same thing with writing, taught him how to write. And then when it comes to math, simple stuff, adding, subtracting, dividing, multiplying. That's it. That's it. Okay. But thing is, at 15 years old, Da Vinci's father recognizes, like, you know, my kid can really draw and paint and stuff like that. I'm not saying this because he's my son. It's like this kid actually has talent. So the dad basically asked this famous artist, this picture you see here, that's their painting, um, Andre del, I'm gonna kill his last name, Verrocchio. Basically tells him, like, look at this is my son's paintings. This is his sketches, his art book, and things like that. Don't you think he's talented? Could you think he could work under you? And Andre looks at it and goes, you know what? He's actually pretty good. He's not bad. He made these. He's like, yeah, he did this all by himself. Wow. He never got any classes, never went to training or anything like that. No, no, no. He taught himself. Okay, yeah, I'll take him under my wing as my apprentice. Okay, so Andre is the master. Da Vinci is his apprentice. What does that mean? It's kind of like job shadowing. You're following the person around, you're watching what they do, and when they tell you, hey, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, that's your job. Do you get paid for it? No, you don't get paid for it, you know. And he basically shows them how to be a sculptor, how to do a painting, how to mix the paints, how to get this particular shade and things like that, techniques and things like that. So, in 1476, 78, sorry, Da Vinci becomes good enough where he is an independent master. Now, what does that mean? It basically means he doesn't belong to anyone. No one owns him. His services are good for anyone. So if somebody wants to hire him to do some job, they can. But if he worked for a clan or if he worked for a king, if somebody wanted him to do a painting, they would have to ask the king or the lord or whoever, like, hey, can Da Vinci do this for me? You know. So in 1482, Da Vinci gets his first job to do a painting. So Da Vinci's like, all right. They're like, what do you want me to do? Well, we want you to do this mural. All right, no problem. I could do that. So Da Vinci starts painting and then he stops. He does not finish it. He takes the money, doesn't finish it. Um, as you're going to see in this lesson, that's a common thing with Da Vinci. He never truly finishes a lot of his stuff. Some things he does finish completely, but it's rare and far in between. A lot of stuff he does not finish. And I'm going to show you a couple of his drawings right now. So if you look at these two drawings, look at the dog, look at the detail, so beautiful and things like that, right? But where's the rest of it? He doesn't draw it. Look at this lion. Look at the mouth, the hair, you know, it looks beautiful, right? That's it. He stops. What about the rest of it? You know, there's kind of an outline for the back and things like that, but why does he stop? Because that's his thing. I don't know if he lost interest or just like he was so busy that he just, oh, I got to do this other thing. You know, who knows? But what is known is he doesn't finish a lot of his stuff. So then he goes to Milan, and the Forza clan basically says, hey, we want you to work for us. So he goes, all right. So he starts working for the Forza clan. He is their engineer, their painter, their architect. When they have a party, you know, someone's getting married, a baptism, things like that. He was the designer of the court. He made it look presentable, look pretty, things like that. And he was a sculptor. And it's this point, because of the sculpting, that the Forza family really wanted him to do something. They asked him to make a 16-foot tall bronze statue for one of their relatives named Francesco Forza. They wanted this horse to honor that person. So Da Vinci goes, I got you. I'll get working on it. And he does for the next 12 years, off and on. And like I said in class, some people, I know you guys have some family members who, you know, has a car and they're like, you know, I'm going to put this car together. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to put this type of engine. I'm going to do this and that to it. And they'll get started on it for like a week and then they'll stop. And then 2 months later, they'll start again. Yeah, I'm going to make this. I'm going to do this and that. And then they stop for like 3 months and then they'll go again. Stop, go again. So Da Vinci's that same way. Now, in 1493, he finishes the clay model of the horse, and it's beautiful. It's immaculate, right? Such detail and things like that. So now he's like, okay, well, I need the bronze. And this is where the problem comes up. Basically, the French were about to attack Milan, and to prevent the French from doing that, the Milan people basically took that bronze that was meant for the statue and they gave it to the French. They told them as a way of like paying tribute, as a way of saying, please don't attack us. Here's something. So the French are like, oh, thank you for this bronze. We really appreciate it. Thank you. We could really use this. And what they did with that bronze, they melted it and made cannonballs out of it. And then they took those cannonballs and shot it at the city of Milan. That'd be like you about to get beat up by somebody, someone a lot bigger, stronger, faster than you, and you tell them, "Hey, how about this? I give you um, a bunch of marbles. Here's a bunch of marbles, to make you happy. So please don't beat me up." And they go, "Oh well, thank you for these marbles." And then they get their slingshot and start pegging you with the marbles. That's basically what happened with these guys. Okay. People in Milan started leaving, because the French were marching in, stuff like that. And Da Vinci was one of those people. And he had to leave behind his 16 foot tall clay horse. Now, when the French got into town, they were like, look at this clay horse going, look at this thing. This is beautiful. Wow. Hey, I bet you I could shoot the eye out. Ah, you can't do it. Watch me, watch me. And they would, you know, try to shoot it. Oh, bet you I can get this knife, and get it right in the heart. No, you can't do that. Get the knife, chuck it at the thing. So they use this horse for like target practice. They're shooting at it, they're throwing things at it, and by 1499, the horse is completely destroyed. So all that work Da Vinci put into that horse, gone. Now, just like that horse, there's a lot of his paintings and sculptures that did not survive. Why? Different reasons. People just saw a statue and decided, you know what? I conquered this area, I'm going to destroy it. Not knowing that's a statue that was created by Da Vinci or this painting. I don't like it. I'm gonna toss it. And that's a Da Vinci painting that someone tossed because just they didn't like it. You know, the two famous ones that did survive. Number one was the Last Supper. Now, I don't know about you guys, but my grandma used to have this painting, in this little kind of circular frame. Um, Here's the thing, guys. It's not a actual like on canvas painting. It's actually painted on a wall. The actual painting of it is 29 feet long and 15 feet tall. It's a large painting. Okay. It's not on a little canvas. No, no, no. It's on a wall in a room. I forgot which place it was in Italy, but it's massive. It's huge. Okay. The Mona Lisa, however, it is small. It is on a canvas. It's 21 inches by 31 inches. And it took them about 4 years to complete it. Now, I use the word complete in quotations because to Da Vinci, he felt he never completed it. So he was always working on it, adding a little thing here, trying to blend this together a little bit more, do touch ups on this and this and that. The other thing is, he never gave the Mona Lisa away. When he died, it was near him. The painting was right there from where he died. Okay, he never gave it away. Now, the question I get a lot is, who is Mona Lisa? Who was she? See, here's the thing. The name Mona Lisa, that's not its real name. Originally, it was called La Gioconda. Okay. Now, where the name Mona Lisa comes from. Well, this is one of the theories that there was a girl named Mona Lisa, and I'm going to kill this last name again, Girardini. And the thing is, she was a courtesan. Okay. A courtesan is a woman who is a prostitute, but she's not like the ones who are on the street and stuff like that. She's a high class woman, but she's a prostitute. So some people think it's like this is a woman he maybe had a good time with, and he fell in love with, and he couldn't be with her because again he is Da Vinci, and this is a prostitute woman, and it's like they can't be together. So some people think that that's what it was. It was a love he had for this woman that he could never be with, and that's why he could never finish that picture, because it wasn't perfect in his eyes. Who knows? That could be it. Or it could be this other one. There was this girl named Lisa del Giocondo. Look at the original name, Gioconda and Giocondo. She was the daughter of a merchant called Fernando del Giocondo, and there is proof that this guy paid Da Vinci to do a painting, and Da Vinci never finished it and never gave it to him. So some people think that might be the Mona Lisa because, again, the girl's name was Lisa. And then the original name of the painting was La Gioconda, and her last name was Giocondo. Which one is it? I don't know. It could be either one of those. It could be none of them. We do not know who she is. Some people think it was Da Vinci doing like a woman filter, like looking like how would I look like as a girl? It could be that, could be not. We don't know. So Da Vinci was a student. He wanted to learn. Okay, again, even though he had basic education, he really wanted to learn because there was this thing called the Enlightenment in which people really wanted to go, you know what? I should know more. I should know about nature. I should know how things work in nature and in our bodies and things like that. So he studied machinery. He studied anatomy. And in case you don't know, anatomy is how your body works. How your muscle. Why when you bend your arm, why does your bicep, flex, but your tricep relax? The tricep is the muscle back of the arm. And when you put your arm straight, why does your tricep get all hard and why does your bicep relax? So he was like, how did that work? How does that work? He studied physics, architecture, weaponry, anything he could study, he did. And the things he created, the stuff he designed, were very accurate and very workable, meaning you could actually use it. So there were things like bicycles, helicopters, submarine, tanks. He designed them and they actually worked. Okay. And again, he spent his time in nature, studying scientific law. He even dissected bodies, which was a big no no back in that days. You weren't supposed to desecrate a human body, meaning when a body died, you're supposed to leave it alone, let it rest in peace, type of thing. So he goes, no, they dug up those bodies, they cut them open, and he wanted to see how the heart worked. How did the muscles work? You know, why does a woman's stomach get bigger when she has a baby? Where is the baby? Is it inside the organs? Is it on the outside? I mean, how does that work? So he didn't just dissect humans, he dissected animals as well. And he basically wrote down and thought about his observations. And he wrote them down in a notebook. Did his paintings in his notebooks, his architecture, his notes, and things like that. He wrote it in his notebook. Now, if you look at that picture up on top there, that's how he wrote in his notebook. And I'm sure while you're looking at it, you're going, what does that say? That type of writing, it's called left-handed mirror script. Meaning, if you get a mirror and you put it right on the side of that paper, you know, you can actually read it because all you have to do is tilt the mirror and it'll reflect what it says. So if you look at the bottom picture, it says it takes a different, quieter part of the brain to write and mirror. So all you have to do is take a mirror, put it right next to it, and then you can read it perfectly fine. And that's how Da Vinci, when he took notes, he wrote that way. So it's pretty interesting. If you don't believe me, try it. Look at it. Get a mirror and put it next to that um, top note part, and then look on the mirror, and you could read it. So this is an example of mirror writing. And if you can't read it, it says, "This is what mirror writing looks like. Now you try it." Now, when Da Vinci wanted to sell his anatomy books, he really couldn't because the thing is, there was already an anatomy book out there already, and he didn't get much fame from it because of that too. He published it too late. Um, People were like, "Oh my God, how dare someone write a book about how the body looks like and things like that?" And but then people started thinking like, well, maybe it's best that this one person studied these bodies and took notes and drew this and that and showed what happens with the muscles instead of having 1,000 people digging up thousands of bodies so they could see it for themselves. You know. So in 1516, Da Vinci's like, you know what? I'm done with Italy. I'm gone. But he doesn't know what to do with himself. And right away, the French king tells Da Vinci, "Come live with me in my kingdom." He says, "In fact, I'll give you a title, Premier Painter and Engineer and Architect to the King." Da Vinci's like, "Cool. That sounds like a really interesting, nice title. What do I do?" And the king's like, "You're Da Vinci. You can do what you want. You can paint and draw, do experiments, do anything you want. You know, you're free to do whatever you like. You're Da Vinci. You're the legend." Because, in fact, too, I'm going to throw you a home. And that home was called Chateau Le Clox, which means in French, a home in the clouds. Okay. Now, Da Vinci, sadly, he died in 1519 at the age of 67. What's even sadder is that some people went into his home, took his notebooks, and start tearing out pages of it and selling it on the street. Here's a page from Da Vinci's notebook. Sell it to you for $10. People bought it. People bought all these different pages. So, like this picture you see right here, that's a portrait of himself. Somebody bought that page, and luckily for us, they didn't toss it. Their ancestors or their relatives didn't get rid of it. And that's what happened to a lot of these pages, these codices. They got scattered throughout Europe and throughout the world, and they got lost. So there's pages of his notebooks that we have no idea what it says because people just looked at like 50 years afterwards. Oh, look at this old paper. What do we need this for? Crush it up, toss it. Oh, look at this picture. It's not even done yet. Who would save this picture? Crush it up, toss it. Oh, we need something to start the fire. Get that old piece of paper. There you go. You know? And it gets even worse. During the French Revolution, right, the poor people were really upset with the rich, the nobles, the kings and queens and stuff like that. And they decided to go to the grave sites where these people were buried and destroy the tombstones, destroy the names saying who was buried there. And sadly, they didn't look before they destroyed it, but they destroyed the Vinci's. So we know where he's buried, what cemetery, but we don't know which plot is his. It's impossible to know. And all records were destroyed. Yeah. So here's your final question. Of all Da Vinci's skill and talent that he had, which one do you feel was the most impressive? Being an engineer, a drawer, his being painting, his architect skills, designing weapons, creating a writing system, his sculpting. Which one do you feel is like, yeah, that's impressive to be able to do? And why? Why do you feel that one is impressive more than the other ones? All right. So once you finish this question, you're done for the lesson. All right. So you guys, hopefully you learned something new. Hopefully you enjoyed this lesson. All right. So you guys take care, you be safe, and I'll see you guys later, okay?